Let's talk about the Friday night game against Wayne State, a very exciting game that goes towards the end. Wayne State ends up with a 1 point victory. Kind of walk us through those final few minutes first, and let's talk about what happened at the end of the game.
Yeah, obviously frustrating weekend overall, obviously, and I thought our guys really competed on Friday. I thought we defended at a really high level. I mean, we held Wayne State to 39% shooting on the night, and so I was really pleased with what we did on that end of the floor. And then offensively, we just, we weren't very good. We were really soft with the basketball, turned it over way too many times, and really, when you asked about the end of the game, that's really what kind of led to the ending deficit. In that I think it was tie game with just under 4 minutes to go. We turned it over 2 straight possessions. They got a transition 3 on one of them and got us down 4. And then we had to continue to battle back, score. We never were able to get the lead obviously back. And then we were down 3 at the end and felt like we probably needed to get a 3 with only 13 seconds to go. And unless we could get a really quick 2 and just kind of lost track of time a little bit and scored with 2 seconds to go, which made it really, really hard, even if they made both, to get something set up to get a shot that we were going to like probably with 2 seconds to go and having to go to the length of the floor. And then that didn't matter because he ended up missing the front end of the bonus and had to shoot one from about 80 feet. So disappointing way to start the weekend, obviously, and then we compounded it by not being very good on Saturday.
All right, well, we'll get to Saturday in a moment, but I do want to ask about the play of Owen King. And obviously, since this was the first weekend that we were able to see the Warriors live in person, it was great to see Owen King get out on the floor and really kind of be electric. Obviously, a transfer from South Dakota State. Tell us a little bit about what you've seen from Owen and his play this year.
Well, I think he's, what we thought he was going to be in terms of his basketball IQ and his skill set. He's a very skilled young man. He has a great understanding of the game. So he's brought a lot of really good intangibles to our program. And then I think it's really good for him just to get back out and play him. Last year at SDSU, he didn't get a lot of playing time. And so I think it's going to continue to take time to transition him into our program and get used to playing basketball again. So he sat a good portion of last year. And then we've had the pandemic that we've dealt with, and he actually was one of the 2 players that have gotten sick from COVID and dealt with that right before the season started. And so that set him back a little bit in terms of just being fully healthy as we got going on early December. And so I think he'll continue to get better and get more comfortable with the way we play and how we do things. And then I think his natural abilities will take over, and we'll continue to see him producing at a higher level for us as we continue to move on here the rest of this year, and obviously is the next 2 years for us.
All right. Overall, during the weekend, you guys were able to hold Jordan Jansen, who came in 3-time NSIC Player of the Week. I think he had 11 points in the first game and maybe 11, 12 in that second game. Talk about being able to contain him. Obviously, some other people stepped up on Saturday, which led to the win for Wayne State. But talk about being able to contain Jordan Jansen.
Yeah, bad game plan. We obviously that was a huge focus of ours, and needless to say, he still made enough plays without scoring to help them win. He's a really good player. He's top 3 players in the league. His instincts, his toughness, his fight to just win possessions is really good. So you take Friday night as an example. He scores 11 points, but he got 10 rebounds. 5 of them were offensive. And when you win a 1-point game, there's more than likely one of those 5 offensive rebounds contributed to second chance points. And he's just somebody that understands that it's really not about scoring. It's about doing whatever it takes to win. And so he's a factor on both ends of the floor. He blocks shots, he rebounds on the offensive end, and then he's a huge threat scoring. And we did a nice job on limiting his touches and not giving him a ton of scoring opportunities. We just didn't do a very good job on some of the other guys both of the nights.
All right, let's get into Saturday's game. And I have to ask you about one portion of the game that we noticed doing the broadcast on HBC, and that was, I don't exactly remember when it happened, but you subbed out all the guys that were on the floor. You go to your bench, you give 4 or 5 minutes to some of your bench guys, some guys who hadn't seen any playing time this season. Was that a statement from you as to what was going on during that game?
No doubt. No doubt. I put in 4 freshmen and Bill Flowers, who is in our 3rd year of our program, but has had very little playing time. our guys need to realize that, it's a privilege to play this game, and you need to play it the right way. And we talked about at halftime, we didn't play very well in the first half. Let Wayne State shoot 64%, and yet we were only down 9. Made a good play at the end of the half to get a steal and a layup at the buzzer. And I wouldn't call it momentum, but we certainly felt like if we did what we had done at Upper Iowa, which would be down 9 at the half and come out to the second half and play better on both ends of the floor, that we could get back in the game. And the starting group didn't do that. We let Nate Moore get going with a couple of transition threes. Our effort to get back wasn't good. Our effort to fight defensively wasn't good. We felt sorry for ourselves. Body language wasn't good. And so if that's the approach guys are going to take, then we got to do something. We can't just allow them to feel like they have a right to still play. It's a privilege to play, and you got to play the game the right way. And so we gave some other guys an opportunity. I thought they did a great job while they were in there. And then, we battled back a little bit, but unfortunately the damage had pretty much already been done, and it made it almost impossible to get back in the game. We did fight there at the end, but still didn't make plays at the end when we had a chance to even cut it close. And we kind of got what we deserved, to be real honest with you.
In your mind, was message received then by those players?
I don't know. We'll see. These guys who got starting, like I said, are 3 seniors and 2 juniors. And so, there's got to be a competitive spirit to them on each and every possession. It's not just when shots are going in. It's really easy to play hard on the defensive end when shots are going in because the things that you'd like to do are going well for you. You find out a lot about individuals and competitors and teams when things aren't going well offensively, and do they still have the same fight and competitiveness on the defensive end? And we've got to get a lot better at that. We're not where we need to be defensively, and until that gets changed, unfortunately, we're going to have ourselves some situations that resemble this weekend.
But still, with all of that, Kevion Taylor had a great weekend. I think I even said on our broadcast, maybe he should be considered for Player of the Week. I think it was 20 points for both games, 22 points on Friday, 21 on Saturday. Talk a little bit about his performance this weekend.
Well, I think Kevion's finding out what it's like to be the marked man. He's scoring at about a similar clip to last year, but his efficiency isn't anywhere near as good. He's shooting 40% from the floor and 30% from the three, and he's just doing a better job of getting to the free throw line, which he's going to have to do, but people are taking away what he does well. And, it was a little easier for him and for us last year when you had another piece out there in Caleb Wagner that was also getting 20 points a game. So if you try to take one away, the other one was probably going to be free, and vice versa. And this year we just, we've got some complementary scorers right now, but we don't have another person that is going to get us 15 or 20 points every night. And that's making Kevion's job a lot harder. And then with that, obviously the coaches in this league are very smart, and they can figure out that if we make Kevion's day really challenging and maybe make him a little less efficient than he's been the last couple of years, that helps them and hurts us. And so there's, interestingly enough, in year 4, there's some growing pains going on with Kevion's game, just because he's got to figure out a way, and we've got to figure out a way to help him, free himself up for better shot selection and more scoring opportunities within what we're trying to do on offense.
All right, and then this weekend you're on the road against Minnesota State. You have to go to Mankato for that. They're 7-3 overall. You split with them last season. What does this weekend look like for the Warrior men's basketball team?
Well, they're very talented again. Mankato's typically one of the better teams in the league, and certainly one of the better teams in the South. And so they've got 3 really good guards on the perimeter, all about the same size, all between 6'2" and 6'3", and all can score it. They're their top 3 scorers. They've got size inside and rotate 3 guys at the 4 and the 5. 2 are very skilled, and then Kelby Kramer's 6'10" and long and block shots and rebounds near the rim. So we certainly have our work cut out for us. Like I said, I would live with the defensive effort that we gave on Friday night against Wayne if we could bring that again on Friday night, and then just figure out a way to back that up with another night on Saturday. It's going to always give us a chance, and we got to get our guys to not so much buy into it, but believe and be willing to work at the level that's needed to play defense at that level, to give ourselves a chance even when shots aren't going down. And then we just need to clean some things up offensively to be a little more consistent there. What
are some of the things in your mind that you need to clean up offensively?
Well, again, if you go to Friday night, we shot 46 or 7% from the floor, which you look on paper and that looks okay, but we turned it over 17 times. So in that game, we lose by 1 point, and Wayne State had 18 more field goal attempts than we had. So anytime a team's going to shoot 18 more times than you and get 10 offensive rebounds, there's a pretty good chance if it's a close game, you're not going to be on the winning side of that close game. And so we got to take care of the basketball, which we typically do, but Friday night was not a good night of that. We've got to share the ball better. We're not, doing a good job of. It's not that we're not sharing it, but we're not creating enough easy scoring opportunities for our guys. So our assist numbers are down overall as a team, which means we're just not getting great easy shots. We're not getting into the paint off penetration, drawing help, and kicking it to open people. People are taking shots that are guarded, and so our shot selection needs to be a little better. We need to have more of a threat than just relying on the 3-point line to do our scoring, because we're not shooting it at a high enough level, to probably balance out that we're not getting a lot of paint scoring. So those are the couple things offensively we need to clean up, but defensively we've got to just do a much better job. I think we're in the bottom third in Division II right now in defensive efficiency in the half court. That's not going to get it done on any team that has aspirations of playing in the postseason.
So how do you then address the defensive efforts in practice?
Yeah, it was addressed yesterday, and it'll be addressed again today, and it'll be addressed again tomorrow. There's some really glaring things on film that, they're staples of what we talk about. We're just not going out and doing them. And that's coaching, and that's also learning as a player. And our ball pressure is really, really poor. Teams in 7 games have 106 assists and 68 turnovers, that's embarrassing to say, because those would be the numbers you'd want your team to have from an offensive standpoint. And yet we don't have that many assists, and we have more turnovers. So we're not doing anything to make the other team uncomfortable. I think if you watched again this past weekend, Wayne State made us uncomfortable in everything that we did offensively, and we don't make anybody else uncomfortable. And so we're giving up easy looks at the 3. We're not guarding the dribble very well, and we just don't bother the basketball. And the first point of the defensive system we have is ball pressure, and we're not pressuring the ball enough, so we're not making people uncomfortable and making possessions way too easy for teams. So we addressed it in film. We worked on it yesterday in practice. Whether or not our guys can go out and do it consistently will be a big part of whether or not we see improvement here the last 3 weeks.